Now it's time for us to create our first real test, and you should be looking at the lab looking like this, I'm guessing. And as you can see, the first item here in the navigation menu is sorted list. So if we read, what does this do, right? Well, it's a simple application, add and delete items, right? So if I do here, feed the dog, it shows up in the list, and it also allows me to delete it from the list, right? This is super common functionality, right? In any software as a service application, this could be add your bank account. This could be add a project, right? So this is really basic functionality. You'll type a name, you'll add it, and you can also delete it, right? So that's why we're doing this. So let's get started. So we'll go here into the Busang tool, and we'll make the window smaller again. And I'm gonna basically click on the question mark again to make sure that it's going back to normal, so I don't get the help here, right? Now I'm gonna start by creating a module. And I think what it was called in the lab was basically handling lists and forms. So I'm just going to call this lists and forms. That's actually a really good tip for your modules. Usually when you have a software as a service application, this kind of categorization you see in your left hand menu very often maps to the code components, right? So usually it's the good way to model your components after the headings here, right? In lists and forms, I'm going to go ahead and create a test called add items to list, okay? Okay, simple, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording, but not so fast. Actually, every time we go in here, we don't want to navigate to this link. So what we can do is, okay, it says to-do list, right? Good. We'll just open this up, and just in the URL, we'll just paste in to-do list straight away. And then we can save this, and now I can just be like, okay, is this working? I'll just double click on this, and you see it stays on sorted lists. So we're good. Now, don't worry about buying data. You want to leave that unchecked now, okay? Because now we just want to start recording into this. So I'm just going to record into feed the cat, clean the floor, right? As you can see, we've added these two items to the list. What would we typically also do to make sure that they've been added, right? We need to create a validation, or in programming terms, usually called an assertion. And we can use the default behavior of Busang. We'll just simply click add assertion and just highlight, either feed the cat just the string or the whole item, as you can do. I'm going to highlight the whole item, okay? Feed the cat, and you'll see that little mask there, right? Clean the floor. So now we created a very simple test. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete these two items. Now I'm going to play this to see if it's working, okay? And as you can see, it's all working fine, right? And one thing that could be good to know is that this kind of recording is like super easy to do, right? But it's not the optimal way of doing it. And that's why we're going to jump already in the next video directly into how to do this by handling this as data. But before we do that, just to see how a successful test execution would look, just go to the report tab here, go ahead and save that test. And here you can see simply one line, everything is running, okay? And the reason why we don't break this down is that it would be kind of annoying to see all the single actions for all the successful clicks that we do. So what we do is you'll have more details in this report when something fails. If you want, you can opt in and have all these details, but we're not going to do it for this exercise. So stay with us and let's see how we can do this using data.